In this video I'm going to change check strap and the door card because the buttons are all faded and worn. To get started, there's a T20 Torx on the front side of the door handle just underneath, and then there's one on the back side just underneath. So those two Torx screws are there, and then there's a third one which hides behind this little I think it's a tweeter speaker grill. So one-handed as usual, but I'm just going to pry the cover off. So I'm not keeping this door card so I can be a little bit more brutal, but it does just clip off without too much effort. And then behind this, in the 1 or 2 o'clock position, you'll see there's another T20 Torx hidden up in there. So pretty straightforward. You might find a better tool for this than I'm using, but I'm just going to use a ratchet screwdriver. And slowly but surely you will be able to get all of these screws or bolts out. These ones under the handle are a little bit more difficult to see because they're on an angle, so it's quite easy to get between the screw head and the actual handle itself and feel like you're in place, but you're not. So a little bit of fiddling, we get there eventually. Those screws might not always retract all the way out, so they'll kind of stay stuck in the door a little bit, but then when you take the door card off they will fall out, so just be careful. They quite often end up in the door pocket, but be prepared for them to be a bit of a pain like that. So now you just need to pull the door card off. There's little pop clips, mushroom clips that hold the door card on around the bottom. You could just pull on the door handle itself and use another hand to sort of gently pull around the circumference of the door, which is why I need 2 hands to do this next bit. You might find that like a trim removal pry is useful for sort of just getting your hands able to get in and around the door, like so. But I say this is a 2-handed job, not too difficult, just requires a little bit of force to pop the door card off the door. Here's a demonstration of that on a different car from the other side. So just popping the door off, like so. Then behind the door, we'll move this white cable out of position, and then unhook the door handle. And then the speaker goes up to this door module. It's got a little clip in there, so you need to press in the grey part of the clip, and then the pink part, purple part moves as a lever, which will pull the cable out at the same time. So I'm just moving another one out of the way here to make it easier. It's the grey plug out of the way now. So that's the door card off. So you also want to pull away this trim. So if you pop it out near the driver's seat, the rest of it will slide out. There's that little bit that's attached to it, which is only sort of like plastic welded on. It's a bit flimsy, but behind here you should see there's the 2 T45 Torx bolts that are holding the check strap on. As you can see by this one, the check strap itself is broken off its rivets and was just dangling, which was making it really difficult to open the door when the door wasn't actually opening fully. So we're going to start off with the T45s and just crack them a little bit loose here. As you can see, someone's wired something in the way there. That turned out to be an old tracker, but it was getting in the way of me getting to the nuts. So I'm going to loosen these off with the ratchet and then use a bigger extension bar just to get them out the rest of the way. There we go. So they should come out relatively easily. I say if you are missing an arm, this is the way to go about it, so it's not a difficult job. You just need to undo those 2 in there, make sure you don't lose the bolts, and then the whole thing should be able to slide sort of out of the car. And again, if you're doing this in heavy winds, then be careful, because it will stop the door from being held in place, so it could overextend. But as we can see here, that's now loose, so there's just 2 10mm bolts holding check strap to the door. As I say, a bit obstructed here because this one's broken, the rivets have popped off, but they are easy to get off, and there's only those 2 bolts. So we'll remove the rest of the check strap out of the way. You can see here as well that the broken check strap has been rubbing against that aluminium sort of panel there that holds the window regulator on, but thankfully nothing too permanent. So that's the old one off. This is just the comparison, so the new one. I say it's new, it's a second-hand one, but it looks quite new. It's in good condition. Same part number. So we can pop that in place. Back onto the car. So refitting this now is just reversing the exact process we've used to take it off. There's nothing particularly special about this, just putting bolts back in place and tightening up the nuts. As I say, those are 10mm nuts on the door card there, so you don't really need many tools to do this job. It's pretty much the T45s for those, the 10mm nuts on the check strap on the door side, and then the T20s for the door card, and that's assuming nobody's got here before and put the wrong bolts in. That's check strap in place. You can just test it to make sure it all works nicely. So I'm just going to unplug this tweeter because the door card I'm putting on, which has nice buttons without the damage, already has the tweeter in it, so I don't need that, and I can just put everything back into place and plug it all back in as it was. The new door card will just hook over the top of the door, like so. Now, because I've swapped the door cards, I'm just going to make sure that the clips are in the right place. So some of them pulled all the way out, so I swapped them back over, and other ones will just clip back into the male parts that are on the door. So just going to push that in all the way around, make sure it's secure, and then it's a case of putting the screws back in where they need to go, underneath the door handles and behind the tweeter cover as well. And then now just putting the cover back on, like so. And this door card will need a bit of a clean because it has been lying around a while, but otherwise I'm happy with that. So now I'm just going to check the doors opening and closing properly, and the door card is all in place. Say nicer buttons on there that haven't worn off. So the door itself does seem to need some adjustment, but the check strap's now working properly and the door's opening fully, so job done.